Well, hello, this is
Oh.
Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com, where music comes to life. And my guests today are the founding members of just one of my favorite newer bands. Sam Hariss on bass has been to the site a few times before, and joining him today is guitarist and singer Dave Tierney. Their second record, Brown Leather, is out everywhere finally on June 11th. Please welcome from New York City, The Sweet Things. Welcome, guys.
Hey, man.
Hey, thanks so much for having us. Just a quick, it's June 3rd. It's coming out, actually.
June 3rd. Okay. Even better.
That's both good days.
So now you guys have been gone a while, so we got a lot to unpack here. And let's start with the band. Since the 2019 debut in Borrowed Shoes on Borrowed Time, you guys have had a bit of an overhaul, bringing in guitarist Tobin Dale and drummer Hector Lopez. Talk a little bit about that change in the band and where the hell Tobin and that tone have been my whole life. Because that's amazing.
Yeah. Sure, I'll
Dave, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, I'll talk about the beginning. We teamed up with Hector first, actually. He ended up doing kind of the last little tour we did.
Well, I went to go see Alejandro
Okay,
Escovedo, and Hector was drumming for him, and that's how I initially met him. And I asked Al, who was busy, and of course not. If the whole band wants to go have a beer with me, and Hector was the only guy that said yes, and that's actually how we had our first conversation. So I knew that's
the audition process.
I knew he was good with poor decision making, which is a very important part of it. And then the real stuff happened. But
and then we found ourselves doing our last kind of road run before whatever the pandemic hit. Little run down the south, and we needed a drummer, and we reached out to Hector, and so we've been playing with him ever since then. And then Sam actually met Tobin. So I guess I'll throw it back over to you, Sam, to mention.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing in this kind of pickup, kind of terrible thing in Philly that was just a bummer, but it was like, it was just a bad situation. But luckily, I through it met Tobin, and Tobin was really looking for something to do. And I remember Dave and I had seen him on Facebook, and we thought he looked really cool. And I had Medicine Bird, which was the last EP he had put out, and I really liked it. And I said to Dave, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think." I was like, not sure if we should mention it to him, but I would love to bring him into this thing we're doing. And we were sitting in a car, and he said, "I love your last album. I wish I could play in your band." And I was like, funny enough. And I was actually talking to him a couple of days ago, and he had no idea that we were going to ask him. He just found out last week, that I was trying to figure out how to say it when he said it. So it was very serendipitous and lovely, and it worked out well. But we were listening.
Sam.
We were listening to a band called Flies on Fire, who I think about 6 people have heard of, and we're one of them.
And 3 of them are in this chat.
The other one. Oh, that's. But anyway, because of it, it's just that's kind of set a precedent. There's so many things that Tobin knows that I'm shocked he knows, because I thought I was the only person, or Dave was the only person, or Dave and I were the only people. So it just through the music we listened to, it was so seamless that it paved a real easy path for it.
Yeah, and the second time I actually even met Tobin, I was down in Nashville, where he lives, for unrelated reasons, and I had just started writing Brown Leather, the song Brown Leather, the lead track off our new record. And we went over his house and just, like I said, we barely met before, and just jammed on the song. It wasn't even a whole song. We jammed on the half of the song that was written, and it was just perfect, even just that from the beginning. So we knew it would be a good fit.
And now, the debut record was this incredible throwback to sort of mid to late 70s New York, kind of, the Dolls, the Heartbreakers, that kind of thing. This record goes back, it feels further. This is Mick Taylor era Stones and Graham Parsons and, even the Burrito Brothers, stuff like that. And I guess the easy take is to say, well, it's the guitar player. Lauren Berman, your first guy, he's a dyed-in-the-wool New York City guy, and Tobin brings this Nashville slide. But when you guys are writing it and putting it together, was it just a natural evolution as to where you were taking the band anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
I think so. I think, yeah. I mean, Dave and I have, really had this kind of idea of where we wanted this band to go that stems back a while ago. And I think the amount of time it took to get to this record was kind of the amount of time to kind of bring it from the brain to the hand, I guess. And I had never recorded a record before the last record. And so having all these tools, disposal was a bit jarring. And really like learning what not to, like I feel like last record was very much a kitchen sink, like we can use it, throw it on there. And now you can be a little more selective and kind of let the songs speak for themselves, and at the same time the songs are percolating and it takes a little longer because of the pandemic, so you can really get give yourself enough time to be objective with them. But Dave will have a better answer that this more akin to the question.
And this, I mean, like our songwriting was definitely moving in a different direction. Like we're not the kind of guys who want to make the same record twice. So while we were stoked about In Borrowed Shoes on Borrowed Time and we did it.
We didn't want to make the last record twice. We're gonna make this one a couple times.
We're gonna make this one again. All right. But like, for instance, we were saying Tobin was such a good fit, but half or a third to half of the songs were written by the time we started playing with him. So we were already moving in that direction. Whereas, I mean, we wear a lot of our influences on our sleeve, but on this record, there's just a lot of different kind of singer-songwriters that we've both been listening to that maybe, I don't know if they come through or not. A lot of classic country stuff, a lot of outlaw country.
I mean,
contemporary.
I think whatever you're doing is
like
directly influenced by what you're listening to. I mean, especially if it's music, that in that case, very much so. But yeah, I mean, I think I can listen to the record and think of like at any song and be like, oh, that was that point when I was really listening to that, or when Dave was talking about that, and we're just kind of, it's really a reflection of what we're listening to at the time. I think, like,
sure,
very easily seen.
And the first record, there's a bit more collaboration between the two of you on songwriting, and your guitar player had a couple tracks on there as well. This time, Sam, you have a couple songs on it, but Dave, these are mainly your songs. Was it just that this was the best group of songs you had, or was it all just kind of shifting more to you to write?
Yeah, no, it's really just, these were just the ones we kind of went with. We did a lot of the record in Muscle Shoals, and so some of that is I came down to Muscle Shoals with a couple songs planned to record there, and even the cover we do, the It Hurts Me Too, was something I had wanted to do down there. That's something I had been just kind of by myself, just sitting around with my acoustic guitar. So there is a little less collaboration on the songwriting in this one, although I think there's more collaboration on the production actually. Whereas, for instance, like the last full song on the record, the second to last song, Problematic Life, which is one that Sam wrote. I love that song. It's such a cool song. We brought it in and we just kind of threw that one back and forth with all these different ideas, kind of sculpting it from what was originally just a song he wrote into just on his bass or guitar. I don't know how he wrote it, but into like a real big sounding album closer. Which we got through a little bit of trial and error and tossing ideas around in the studio.
Some trial and a lot of error.
Yeah,
and I think much like the first record, the sort of unsung hero on this record, and I would assume unofficial sweeping, is Rob Cloris. And I mean, much like, Ian Stewart and Nicky Hopkins and even, Teddy Andreas with Guns N' Roses, his keys just kind of bring all of this together. I mean, what's it like for you guys once you hear what he adds to the song?
He's amazing, and we love what he plays, and we also love the man. We've had, obviously we've hung out a ton and also got to play together a ton locally, but also a little bit on the road, which is nice too. I would add Billy Preston to that list because usually usually in the studio, you know, we just play Rob a song, and the first thing he plays is just like exactly what we would want, but better, you know. There was one instance in I think we were working on the song "Mentholated Blues" on this record, and Rob was there's a little part where Rob was a little unsure to play, and I was like, you know, man, like there's an organ part, and I was like, you know, do like what Billy Preston would do, and he's like, Billy Preston's my favorite. I got it, and the next take is like on the record. So he's just a perfect fit, and he just plays so much cool stuff. I mean, a lot of it is just great taste. You know, he knows when to be in the front. He knows when to sit back. He's just a real smart player and a cool guy.
You know, you mentioned the cover, It Hurts Me Too. And the first time I heard the record a little while back, I think I actually sent Sam a note. I'm like, the cover just blows me away. That's such a great version of that song. And it's funny because, again, I think kind of fitting with the themes of the record, you know, on the first record, it was the Izzy Stradlin cover, Cokin, which it was a perfect fit for the sound of that record. And what you guys do with, you know, the old Elmore James classic, It Hurts Me Too, fits perfect on this record. I mean, you know, was it a hard decision to pick a cover, or was it just something like Dave, you said you were playing on an acoustic?
We were in Muscle Shoals, and it you know, we were there because it was between two other places that we had to be, like, for shows. So we planned it out.
Between Birmingham and Memphis.
It was more about, we weren't coming with material. It was what we had. And, you know, Dave kind of had this cocked and loaded. So I'd
been playing it a lot. Yeah. And so we were just like, yeah, let's lay it down, you know, and I'd been enjoying it. Like I said, it was just something I was doing by myself, sitting at home. It wasn't even like originally planned.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing kind of the production of it. Like I said to Hector, you know, maybe do like a drumline thing at the beginning, and that worked. And what I would say is the thing that I love on that song more than anything is Dana Athens' backup vocals on that. She does this kind of great gig in the sky vocally thing at the end that I always, it makes my big toe shoot up into my boot.
Yeah, and the whole Dana session was great because she was in Muscle Shoals with us, but we brought the track back to New York, and she came into Mercy's.
Diluted it.
And she just did all sorts of awesome stuff. And she's just really fun to kind of record with and to hang out with. So we just had a really fun, just really creative session, just, you know, because she does so much in that song, actually. Just regular backups, and then, like Sam said, that kind of great gig in the sky ending. The
backups, they always remind me of like the Ike and Tina version of Broccoli Baby. She's just blew me away.
Yeah, and you guys,
it was.
You mentioned recording down in Muscle Shoals, and that was pre-pandemic that you guys did, you know, a bunch of recording down south. And so were you working on this record kind of the whole time, or did you work on it a little, put it to bed when things shut down and go back? How did it all come about?
We didn't know what we were going to do with the recordings originally. It was more just like we had these shows in Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee, and we were ending up in New Orleans. And we just decided, instead of kind of putting together, you know, whatever Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows, we decided just to hit the studio and take those days off and just record some stuff that we had, you know, like I said, just the stuff we had recently written or stuff we'd been playing. But we didn't have a plan for it. So then it was just kind of sitting there, it was in the can. And then when we had a lot of touring plans for the spring of 2019, but along with everybody else, the plans got canceled. And around then we had just started our lineup change. So instead of just trying to figure out what to do with our time, we just decided to just finish those songs and then write a bunch of new ones and record the rest of the record. So yeah, it was basically shelved from November 2019 until April 2020 when we started working on them again.
And you guys, you didn't really get to do a whole lot of touring behind the first record. You know, what's kind of the plan coming up now? Are you looking to get on the road and, you know, hit it a little more this time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We got some stuff. We got a little bit booked that we're going to announce soon, probably in the next couple of weeks, and then figuring out what to do after that, and hopefully announce even more, and get ourselves on the road, hopefully several times over the next several months if we can.
If you guys had your say in how it all was going to go, would you rather get on an opening slot with an arena band, or would you rather take it to the clubs and play for your audience, maybe do like a co-headlining sort of thing?
Arena band. That
I
sounds
was gonna say, I don't know if we have the same.
Our
answer to
fans
that
can
one.
wait. They're fine.
Yeah, I think Sam wants to play the biggest venues possible. I think, and I'd be down to play some big venues too. I think for me, the perfect thing would be something of a mix. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Do a 2-week run opening for arenas, then do 2 weeks in small clubs, and hit a bunch of festivals, and then repeat. So to me, like, we could do a little of everything would be perfect.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. Just recently, I caught the tour that was going around with Dirty Honey's, another amazing new band, and Mammoth, Eddie Van Halen's kid. And it was a good thing to see two somewhat newer bands going out there and each playing full sets to a packed club. And it's like, even something like that, I mean, just you guys need to get up on stage and get out there for everyone to see you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, we're excited for like I said, the upcoming shows we're going to announce. It was great just to play. We just played, 2 weeks ago down in Austin, Texas,
Mhm.
For the first full show lineup. And it was just so great just to get up there for one show. So it would be great to get up there for a lot of shows in a row, for sure.
Yeah, we've got a small string of East Coast dates that we're going to announce in a little bit. I think, we're piggybacking everything on everything else right now. So that, the momentum has been really good for the past, I'd say year, like just even behind the scenes. And now that it's kind of going in front of the curtain, just keep going up. I mean, I think we're going to we'd like to play as much as possible. It's a little hard when, the band's spread out amongst several states,
Mhm.
but we're giving it a go. We're I think it's everybody seems to be pointing in the same direction as far as wanting to get out there a lot, and so I think we'll be able to make it happen.
Yep. Well,
Yeah, like Sam said, we're just getting the ball rolling. We just played LA, we just played Austin. We've got a few more cool ones coming up, so should be good things beyond that as well, I think.
well, definitely looking forward to it. I didn't get a chance to catch you guys live on the last record, so hopefully you can grab some of these East Coast dates and say hello again.
I would love that, man.
Yep.
I think the last time I saw you was at Beauty Bar, right?
Yeah, you were DJing, and we came in after a show.
Nice.
It was pre-pandemic. The whole world was different.
A whole different thing.
But we'll even have to check that out again next time we're in the city. We'll let you know.
Just got a negative COVID test.
Nice.
I keep testing negative, and I really think it's
can't be
starting to
killed.
upset all my friends and loved ones. Like they're a little over it by now. They're like, all right, but now just you should get it. I think it's upsetting to everybody that I have not gotten it. Kanahara.
Well, now's not the time as you're about to release a record and hit the road.
No, I agree. Trust me. I'm fine with not getting it. I would even go as far as to say it's ideal.
Yeah. Well, we've been spending some time here with Sam Hariss and Dave Tierney of The Sweet Things. The record is called Brown Leather. It's freaking incredible. I can't recommend it enough. It is out everywhere June 3rd. The new single and video, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about the video for Brown Leather, which is just amazing. And I assume it's going to be a little story going on if you want to add that in.
Sure.
That's a Dave thing.
Should we talk? You want to talk about the video a little bit? Yeah, so the video is coming out. This lead single video coming out. What is that? That's going to be April 11th. It's the first track on the album, and we did this big like fake live show of the band playing at I guess like at a country western roller disco club where the band's playing, and there's a rowdy cast of roller skaters who are dancing and eventually turn violent. The place turns into a big brawl, and eventually takes the band down with them. So that's kind of a live scene that I don't know if it exists. We dreamed it up, but we kind of made what we wanted to see in the real world. We made that on the screen in our video.
Yeah, it's a fun video. And if you're watching this on the Misplaced Straws website, the video will be a couple paragraphs underneath where you clicked on this video. So you can see it right off
cool.
of there. But
Okay, cool. Yeah, no spoiler, I guess, because it'll be out by then.
Yeah.
So,
And then part
yeah,
two,
we're talking now, but what's that?
the next single, the video connects to the first.
Yeah.
I believe they're called series.
Yeah, there's a cliffhanger.
Mhm.
There's a cliffhanger, and the
I know
second
that.
single coming
I
out is
know.
going to pick up where the first one leaves off. The brown leather. So the brown leather video, we dreamed up the idea. Me and Sam and my girlfriend Scarlett. We were sitting around one night just trying to think about the video and what it should be. And Scarlett said it first. I think she's like, we're like, what should this video look like? I think she's like, I see roller skates and butts. And and so we're like, all right. And we started kind of just tossing ideas around and bullshitting and came up with the basic plot. And then Scarlett's she's a roller derby skater for the Bronx Gridlock in the Gotham Roller Derby League. So once we started putting this idea together of a roller skating video, we figured it made a lot of sense to invite a bunch more of the roller derby skaters from the league. And so we did, and a lot of them were totally down to participate. And the ending result is what happened and what we got.
Well, what's cool about the video is that, for a storyline like the one we kind of came up with, it only works if everybody really gets into it and decides to have fun and not get all stingy about looking a little silly. And the room was full of people who were totally cool with looking silly. And so the video doesn't look silly, but nobody was too cool for school. Everybody really got into it. Everybody had a great time. And I'm still shocked at how cool it is. I think it came out really well. I think people are going to like it.
Yeah, there was a lot of planning and pre-production and all that went into it. But when we got to the day of the actual shoot, it was a lot of fun. Partially because we'd done so much, preparation, but also because, like Sam said, everybody there was just so into it, which was 100% in. It turns into this big brawl, and we had planned a lot of fight choreography that we talked to the skaters, showed them what to do in different scenarios. And for the most part, this fight choreography was unnecessary because once the skaters were told action to start fighting, they just went so hardcore after each other and just like so 100%. It was hilarious from our position on the stage, try to stay in character and not act like this is totally normal. Whereas we have this room full of 75 people just throwing each other around, going completely wild. It was really great.
So again, Dave Tierney, Sam Hariss, the band is The Sweet Things, the record Brown Leather, out everywhere June 3rd. Guys, thank you so much, and we'll definitely catch you on the road shortly.
Awesome.
Absolutely,
Thank you so
man.
much. Thanks for having us and talking to us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.